Batangas State University, the National Engineering University,
leading innovations,
transforming lives.
building the nation.
Good day, everyone. I am Monalyn Balasana.
I am Jidel Cruz,
I am Aina Nicole M. Delgado.
and I'm Gian Cedric Arloy Plata.
And we are the proponents of the program entitled The Periodic Table of Elements.
First, what is periodic table? The periodic table is a tabular collection of chemical elements arranged according to atomic number, starting with hydrogen and going up to oganesson, which has the highest atomic number. A succession of columns or groupings and rows or periods make up the modern periodic table. Periods are designated 1 to 7, top to bottom, and groups are numbered 1 to 18, left to right. The periodic table of elements organizes all of the known elements into categories that correspond to shared properties of the elements in each category. If you would look into a copy of periodic table, the first thing that might come to your mind are it is confusing and numerous. That might make us feel lazy to study as the information are overwhelming. In line with this, as part of our partial requirement in computer programming, we created a program that would help students or even professionals to understand and learn easier the information on each element in the periodic table. Before all naturally occurring elements were discovered, the periodic table was used to predict the chemical and physical properties of elements in the gaps on the table. Sometimes, using the manual periodic table is confusing since the details are incorporated in small size to fit in the box. In addition, manual periodic table only includes basic information about an element. As a consequence, students still need to research about the other details. With the use of our program, students will not need to buy a periodic table since they just need to enter an element symbol and all sorts of important information used in balancing and solving problems will show. The periodic table is important because it is organized to provide a great deal of information about elements and how they relate to one another, and it's easy to use as reference. Through our program, one click results to a book-like of information.
Importance of element classification. Classification helps us to predict the properties of the elements and their compounds based on their position in the periodic table and vice versa. It becomes easier to study, understand, compare, and contrast the related properties among the elements and their compounds from different groups. The importance of chemical name. The primary function of the chemical nomenclature is to ensure that the spoken or written chemical name leaves no ambiguity concerning which chemical compound the name refers to. Each chemical name should refer to a symbol. Importance of electrons affinity and ionization energy. The smaller the first electron affinity, the easier an atom gains electrons. The greater the electron affinity, the weaker is the ability of an atom to gain electrons. The ionization energy shows the ability of an atom to lose its electrons. This ability can explain the metal activity of an element. What is the importance of groupings in the periodic table? The elements in each group have the same number of the valence electrons. As a result, elements in the same group often display similar properties and reactivity. Atom or a molecule is referred to an atomic mass. The atomic mass is used to find the average mass of the element and molecules and to solve stoichiometry problems. Important to know the melting and boiling points of the materials. With respect to the scientific screening, the boiling and melting points can help in identifying and separating the substances. This is because every compound has a unique melting as well as boiling point. Determining the valency of an element, predicting the properties of the group of elements, and interpreting atomic spectra. Standard state. The standard state is used to calculate the properties of a material under various conditions.
Good day. For the process, we will going to use the online GDB as our platform. This coding will utilize Python as a programming language. Python is a general-purpose programming language that can be used in any modern computer operating system. It can be used for processing text, numbers, images, and scientific data, which is the ideal and accurate programming language for the coding of the periodic table of elements. So we will name this code #periodic table of elements. For the first step is the creation or coding of the program. we will begin on calling and printing up the periodic table of elements. The proponents listed the elements in the periodic table accordingly and properly aligned to make sure that it is clear for the user to choose from the sets of elements the element they wanted to print and search for its important information. This will serve as the periodic table of the program and the list of elements the users will need for the next processing of running the program. This program used the calling up function by defining first the function and printing the important details associated with it, as it is necessary for the looping part of the program.
After listing the symbols of elements in the periodic table, the proponents created casting of the input to make the code run. This code casting is necessary as it is the one who will lead the code to the if and else statement. It includes the str, which means string. The user of this code will choose the element available on the printed periodic table.
So this program will use the if, else condition and statements. This type of condition is suitable for the coding of periodic table of elements. Whereas, after the user casts and encodes the chosen elements, the if and else statements takes place.
Once the coding of the program is finalized, then it is ready for the running process. First, click the run icon of the program and the program will start operating. The image above shows what the program looks like after clicking the run icon. Then, encode the element chosen that the users want to search. So let's start with hydrogen. After clicking the hydrogen, press enter and the important information for the user's chosen element will be printed out by the program.
To ensure a well-detailed and comprehensive coding of the program, the proponents will then utilize the looping process. Once the user has already searched for the specific elements, the output, "Would you like to run again? Yes or no?" will be then followed, in which if the user encodes yes, the looping part takes place and it will bring back to the defined function earlier, which is the printed list of periodic table. While if the user encodes no, then the code will print thank you and it will end the utilization of the program. So this is the simple and comprehensible way of showing the process of our program about periodic table of elements.
Due to its ability to represent 118 different elements, their chemical properties and show trends between them, the periodic table is no doubt very important. It was the most important development in the field of chemistry as it allowed for a way of organizing the elements so that it was possible to make predictions about both their chemical and physical properties based on the element's position in the table. Also, it is organized to provide a great deal of information about elements and how they relate to one another in one reference. The table can be used to predict the properties of all the elements, even those that have not yet been discovered. In addition, information in the periodic table of the elements helps engineers in all disciplines because they use elements in all facets of materials design. It is also important to petroleum engineering students, especially in chemistry classes, since it helps us to look for the relationship between the composition and the properties of the substances easily. Also, it describes the atomic properties of every known chemical element in a concise format, including the atomic number, atomic mass, and relationships between the elements.